Hello everyone and welcome to our SMC panel event. We've got an amazing 4 panelists who are going to be dropping some incredible knowledge throughout today's session. What has been the single biggest change to social media marketing as a result of COVID-19?
I think the biggest change we've seen is it separated people who do social well and people who don't really clearly.
A lot of e-commerce businesses had their record years and they will probably never have that sort of growth again. Many of them were up 600% in terms of revenue.
Big brands that didn't see the value in working with or partnering with influencers at all, they are now coming back in droves and with cash to spend.
I think with the increase in the usage of social media, it's given the platforms more data and the platforms have got better.
Which social media platforms, platforms have been the biggest beneficiary of COVID-19 and why?
I think it's a no-brainer. TikTok. The average amount of time spent on platform last year went up by 53%.
The interesting platform that we saw a lot of brands starting to work with during COVID was Pinterest.
Stories will be huge on LinkedIn. It's not there yet. You need the consumption before you get people to post on there.
How has COVID-19 impacted social media content? And what trends have you sort of witnessed come out of the pandemic?
Social media is a conversation and you should know your brand and you should know your audience and you should know your values and you should be able to communicate with your customers in a way that still adds value to them.
It was already important to have empathy and reverse engineer what the customer wants, but how much more important is it when there's lockdown, people are in fear, people are they're struggling in their business. It's become more important than ever to just have some empathy.
People are getting more used to lower quality content.
All of the young teenagers who are coming through and creating amazing content are going to be well sought after in the social media marketing space.
They're going to take our jobs one day, Gareth.
I'm terrified, mate. I'm terrified. Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Which brands have successfully thrived on social media during the pandemic?
As awful as the pandemic has been for some businesses and excellent for others, what I've loved is the complete shake-up and forcing them to look at how they use social media.
The new iOS updates where brands are not going to be able to get as much information about people that have visited their websites, that it's going to mean that ads are going to become less relevant. If social media gets more challenging, brands and businesses are going to turn to experts to figure it out.
What advice do you have for those working in the social media industry?
Always be upskilling yourself. There's always going to be new platforms. There's going to be new features in platforms.
One thing that will always remain constant is if you align your objectives with the objectives of the platform, no matter what changes happen, you can't really lose.
Yeah, I think it's really easy to feel paralyzed when you've been out of the game and overwhelmed with how do I step back in, but I just think you've just got to show up.
Take action. If you spend a lot of time strategizing, get in there and start posting and you'll soon learn what the audience wants. That's the best way to learn.